And welcome back to Sports Weekly on IEMG. Last week we told you about the great season for the Cajon High School boys cross country team. In fact, the first year the Cowboys have ever won the Citrus Belt League title, and more history was made as Cajon reached the CIF Southern Section Division I Finals for the first time in program history. So we had to catch up with Cowboys head coach Lun Son to talk about this great season at Cajon.
All right, now join us here on the show, the head coach for the Cajon High School boys cross country team, who had a historic season. In fact, I want to hear from him if it's the best season ever. Lun Son, the head coach of the Cowboys. And coach, I mean, could you say this was the best cross country season that Cajon has ever had for the boys?
In recent memory, I spoke with Rich Embriani last night, our athletic director, about it, and he said, within his recent memory, of taking over and such, there hasn't been a team that's made it to CIF finals from Cajon. And then for the boys to be able to do what they've done, it's just incredible considering, just what we talked about throughout the season, where last year the team didn't even qualify for CIF. We were the odd man out of the Citrus Belt League and whatnot for the top three teams to make it. And then for them to be able to do what they've done this year, to where our number three, Isaiah Garay, he went from like a 1730 to where he just ran like a 1452 at CIF finals. And then our number four, Jesse Zarko, another one of our senior who was in the 18s and such last year, for him to go from that to a 1509 as his PR. Yeah, this is uncharted territory for Cajon cross country.
Well, let's backtrack a little bit, because you just mentioned it. For the first time, Cajon won a CBL championship for boys cross country. That was special in itself, wasn't it? That was like the first step.
Yeah, that's correct. This is the first time since 2008 that Cajon High School has won a league title, let alone a Citrus Belt League title. Especially with all the incredible teams in the Citrus Belt that has been historically great. Ukaipa's, they're consistently going to state. They're consistently going to CIF finals. Beaumont's got a great coaching staff, a great team. Redlands in the past with Coach Anzai and whatnot, leading them to prominence and such. And Rev consistently going to state and such as well. And that's not to say that Citrus Valley is shabby. They just recently went to state a couple of years ago with their girls. So the entire team, for what they've been able to do, competing against some of the more historically great programs and such in our league, and for them to be able to capture the league title and go as far as we've had, it's incredible. I'm proud of this group.
All right, Coach. So at the CIF prelims, and that weekend, it was messy. We had a big storm blowing through Southern California. It was wet. It was cold. I don't know what that meant for the course. I don't know if it's ideal conditions. Maybe you guys like to muck it up and get out there a little bit. But from the prelims, you guys qualified for the CIF finals in Division I for the first time ever. In that prelim race, what would you think was key for you guys to do so well in that one to punch your ticket to the next round?
We had to do it kamikaze style. I told these guys we don't have the luxury like the Redondos, the Beckmans and such of the world, where, in terms of their team strategy, what they were going to do was just to stay together as a pack, to move on. For us, we didn't know how we were going to shake out. And I was looking at the stats and such for teams number 3 through 7. We were all balanced and we were all equally matched and such. So I was like, guys, it's, we're going to have to run lights out and such to be able to qualify for finals and stay alive. And we'll do the planning and we'll do the adjustments and such after we qualify. And for them, they went out and we were within 2 points basically from beating Redondo and Union basically in our heat. So we did a little bit of both, to where we prepared for the flat course because we didn't know whether it was going to rain or not, for the rain course I meant, or the regular Mount Sac course. What we ended up doing was we went that weekend and we ran the course just so they were familiar with it. And then we did some workouts and such with the hills so that we could also be prepared for the hilly course just in case it didn't rain. And luckily, it rained and it played into our favor. We had some speed demons and such on the team, and we ended up running like a 75-18 as a team, which is incredibly fast. And that's probably one of the faster team and such coming out of San Bernardino County leading up to CIF finals. And, we lucked out and we were blessed to basically play second and move on to finals.
Yeah, so coach, in a season of first and a historic season, winning the CBL championship, getting to the Division One finals for the first time as a team, and then you knew what you had to do, finish in the top 7 as a team to make the CIF state meet, and you guys came in 8th. What was the message to the guys? Because I'm sure it's bittersweet because you guys had such a great season, but in that moment you're like, we were so close to reaching state as a team.
Um, for us, it was a blessing to be wherever we're at and to have the opportunity to compete basically at CIF finals. Uh, there's not much I could really say, just to think about it. Like, I knew how much it was going to hurt them, and as well as the parents, the community, and things. Along the way as we were making our run, um, we had the support of the administrators where our principal and such, showed up for our meets and things like that, and just kind of watching us and just, wishing us luck and such throughout the season. Our athletic director was always there, and the parents and things like that hosting pasta nights. So it was like all these things rushing through my mind. I'm like, oh, so it hurt me a little bit more, not personally because I've guided teams and such to this situation before, but since this is a first for this community, it's just sometimes when you do everything right, it still doesn't translate into a win. And for them to battle the way that they did, like to come up, you know, 22 points shy and one spot shy, basically of state, you can't be, anything else but proud of them. And that was the message going into it. Is like for us to come together and the community and things like that we created. That's what I'm more proud of was the fact that like from a bunch of eclectic motley crew bunch, you know, that started in June to now, like for them to mature as individuals, as people and things. It's to get to the situation that we did, it's just a blessing, and there's a lesson such in this, and we're excited for track season now.
Coach, do you feel like, I mean, because it's still so recent, and obviously they're probably, a little frustrated and down that they didn't make state, but do you feel like maybe when they get a chance to step back a little bit and look at their season as a whole and the things that they were able to accomplish? I mean, again, the best Cajon cross country team that we've seen, at least in recent memory, maybe ever, to make it to the Division One finals as a team. I mean, what a huge season for you guys.
Um, you're right, it is. And we didn't look at it as history. We kind of view it more like as if, this is just a reflection of the work and such that we put in. The kids work hard, and the principal mentioned it all the time. Dr. Jackson talked about it. It's like, dude, every time I show up at work at 6:30, I see a team and such just running along the street and such. There's a difference between the energy that the student athletes brought to the campus and such this year to where they had that self-efficacy, the grit and such that like they the teachers, the athletic director and such didn't see in years past. That was special with this group, and that's what makes it so special. It's just the fact that they've done things, that hasn't been done before.
And finally, Coach, do you feel like this season hopefully is laying that foundation for future teams? Like this will be the, maybe the standard, right? The expectation, like, hey, we want to be at the D1 finals, not just, one and done. We want to be here every single year competing for, for important things like this.
100%. That's what we talked about the entire season. We have a team manual. We have a standard that we talked about, and even our Instagram. We have our logo, our ethos, basically, in terms of how we want to be represented as a team. And there's moments and such throughout the season where as the head coach, you're going to make decisions and things to where um, you that you're guided by your principles and such to where there are some student athletes We had to ask to like, hey, thanks, but no thanks type of deal. We got a good group coming back, and this has been the most talented group that we've had, considering like what we talked about earlier, where our 3 and 4 just last year, they were relatively they were not elite athletes in comparison to some of the best in the state, and for them to improve from like a 17 and 18 to running 14:52s to a 15:09, that's incredible. This year, we have JV athletes, and who we return is our freshmen, our number 5, and then our number 6 and our number 7, and then in addition to that, like our 8th, ninth, and 10th are freshmen and such as well, that are running faster time than our current 3 and 4 this year. I mean, from last year. So I'm excited. I'm always excited. Like I love building, and this is just one of my things to where we teach character. We teach them to develop to become good people, good citizens, and such of the world. And it takes a lot harder to be a good person than it is to be a good athlete. And once our athletes buy into that, they buy into enjoying the grind, enjoying the process, it translates to incredible results and such, like what we produce and such this year. So that's what we have to look forward to. Is like those, I mean, those young studs and such coming up to where like they're already training and things like that for track after I told them to take a few days off. Not a few days, but a few weeks or however much they need.
Well, Coach, listen, congratulations on a great season at Cajon. You made us very proud here in San Bernardino, and we're excited what the future looks like, man. Congrats.
Thank you. God bless, Pep. We enjoy our moments and such together, and it's a blessing to get interviewed by you. It's a blessing to get noticed and such by the community. And what we do is just to kind of show like, hey, there's something good that could come out of San Bernardino. It started with Jaden Daniels and such, and now I'm just glad our team's able to do our part, for Cajon. So thank you.
Well, a great season for Coach Son and the Cowboys. That'll do it for Sports Weekly on IEMG. I'm Pep Fernandez, and we'll see you next time.